Welcome everybody to the Brooklyn Racing League. This is the GT3 Sprint Championship, round 9 here at Phillip Island. And we got 9 minutes 50 seconds left in practice. And just taking a look at people who are creating some Christ, I should have known that would happen. It's always one thing you miss. Thank you, Sir Naps, a lot for the follow. Appreciate that. So just testing my audio. Yeah, there we go. Eric Kunzman off. What we have for you is a very exciting race. In terms of all the different classes that are out there right now. It's round 9. Jacob Simmons is leading the pro standings, but Peter Flanders in second. Now, if you look at the board, Peter Flanders is first in practice, and Jacob Simmons is 12th. They're not separated by much, 7/10, but still, that's a lot. And that could be the deciding factor as the championship plays out for the remainder of these rounds. Christopher Daniel is also in the mix. He is third, but he's also not here. It's just how Chris planned it. He made it this ridiculous noise. Same with Jeff. Pickles be gone. Going over the Pro-Am standings, Marshall Scary is leading that category over Christopher Chitterling, who's in second, and Chris Lambeth, who's in third. Chris Lambeth isn't going to be here for this race, but Christopher Chitterling is, and it looks like he is 14th at the moment. We can see him on board, but where's Marshall Scary? He's 8th. So big difference in the categories for the top 3 for Pro and Pro-Am right now. Brandon G. Burns leads the AM class over Adam Tingle, who's in second, and Forrest Holland, who's in third. And Brandon Burns is in 15th. And Adam Tingle, I don't even think he's here for this race. Adam Tingle is not here. Forrest Holland is also not here. So his next rival would be Eric Kunzman, who's 4th in the championship, and Eric is 10th. Actually faster than Brandon Burns, so there's a bit of a discrepancy there. Looking at Marcello De Leo here, who is first in the rookie class over Roman Bykoff, who's second, and Sean Dickinson is in third. I don't think Sean's here at all, but Roman Bykoff is. He's 28th. Marcello De Leo is 31st at the moment. And with that said, going over to the team championships, take a look at who's doing what. Under Thighs Racing, Jesus, that's something from Chris Chitterling. Thunder Thighs Racing is leading, not commandingly. They just have a decent amount of point spread, not over 100. To Draft Punk Gold, there's Elliot Burton there. Draft Punk Gold in second. Papaya Rules is in third. Cars Racing in fourth. No Longer Radio Controlled is in fifth. Draft Punk Silver is in sixth. Pax Oceani Rambunctious Necromancers in 7th, Little Lugnuts in 8th, Pax Oceani Margarita Masters in 9th, Puck Yeah Racing in 10, Ski Team in 11, Caffeine Global Motorsports in 12, SimCity Racing the 2nd in 13th, Gonjic Lizzie Racing in 14, Acer Race 15, SimCity Racing 16, Pax Oceani Rubber Shuckers in 17, Living Legends in 18, Shift E Racing in 19, Aero Racing in 20, and not to be forgotten, Naro Racing Team, league admin and a league owner, Joshua Grasso and Noah Hoskinson, rounding out that 21st position in the team championship here for the GT3 Sprint Championship, season 15, round 9. And 5 minutes 28 seconds left to go. We're going to see anyone causes any more accidents in practice. Oof. That said, We have a couple rookies back with us: Marcello De Leo, Maxwell Woodmansee, um, Brandon Langlands, Roman Bykoff. I think that's the last one. Richard's in the oh, As 48. Thank you for the follow. Just trying to take a look here and see if any other drivers might be aiding Go Works. I think this driver's still sitting in the rookies. Or not. I mean, I think he's still in the rookies. He's definitely done enough races, though. Let's take a look at the yeah, he's still in the. He's in 1, 2, 3. Oh, so he hasn't done too many races. He's sporadic. And I don't think there's anyone new. Beyond the rookies we already have, no one else on the list is popping up like a. Oh, Noah Hodgkinson's actually here. Wow. So we do have a member of Narwhal Racing on the track now. I think that is supposed to be the logo, but it's gonna put this one on refresh everything and hope that it works. Sorry, Jason, can't make the race tonight. Brown Pork. Oh, well, you know, that makes sense, Chris. Understandable. You do have a drop week for, right? Yeah, I think this might just be your drop week then, because you bought. Yeah. You haven't had one yet. So this would be decent for you. And it would be the round 8, the 283 points, which you get a save for a 0 point this exchange. And moving forward, might be actually very beneficial. Drop weeks, oh, it's not good. Just an added reminder, anytime the camera does pan to another driver, it's thinking that driver's going to crash. That's what iRacing predicts. Ironically, the driver that was behind is the one that went off, and that was Dylan Thomas. But it still believes Rodrigo is going to give us some excitement. Oh, it switched over to Jeff. Got 1 minute 21 seconds left. Just going over the numbers here. A low 125 will put you in the top spot. That's what Peter Flanner has, and a low 126 is what Eric Koonsman has. He's in P11. So only 10 guys that were in the 125s. 126.002 is what Eric Koonsman has. And just behind him is Jeff Koffold. Now, when you get to the 126s, it's pretty much consistent until P26, which is Noah Hodgkinson, who's in did a 127.051. So you have a good spread of drivers, about 15 in the 126s, 10 in the 125s, and then the 127s is where we're going to round out the rest of the drivers, which is P26 onward to 31. Now 32, 33, 34, and 35 haven't set really like pace slaps, I would say. Jeff has a 135. I wouldn't say that counts towards his abilities there. Jordan Hunt has a black flag, so that driver also has an Awesome. Can't wait to see you there, Chris. Hopefully you can make this battle more exciting. Mark Foley's 5th in the championship, but he's down in 9th. And with that said, practice is ending, and we will be going over to qualifying. But before we go to qualifying, there is just a quick word from Marcel. And we are back. 15-minute qualifying session, and then on to the race. John Javecki leads us. It's actually pretty stacked at the front of the pack there. That's all pros. Up until you get to Marshall Scary, who's in the Pro-Ams just behind. But Marshall Scary was impressive in practice, so I'm sure he'll be just as impressive in qualifying. And when we get underway, I'll switch back over so we can start on a lap here with John Javecki. On board with John Javecki, see what he does in the Gardner Straight. It's going to say everyone's got times on the board, but this has happened quite a few times now where it's shuffling qualifying on their out lap. It's quite bizarre. It only happens at a few tracks. It's the fastest lap with a 132. Peter Flanner, who's just behind 1.6 seconds, is going to be the benchmark for qualifying. He was the fastest in practice with a 125.3, and so everyone is going to have to measure up to that 125. Mind you, only 10 drivers were able to get into the 125s in practice. And looks like there's already some debris on track. No. We'll see what happens. Here's John Javecki across the line. He'll be the first time. It'll be the fastest time for a second. But can Peter Flanner respond? No, Peter Flanner goes into second with that time, a 127.4. Max Poe just goes into third as Eric Koonsman has the fastest lap out of everybody. That is an AM class driver leading for just a moment as Joshua Jablonski has now taken P1 and Gage Hines is into third. Valhalla Racing's here, by the way. There's a couple Valhalla Racing drivers that showed up. It's nice to see them back in. But it still holds. Eric Koonsman now in second. Seth Hansen set a time on that, was a 127.7. Jacob Simmons in the 127s, Dylan Thomas. So everyone is even in 127s and 128s at the moment at a set battle of laps. One driver outside of that. Actually, two drivers now. It's unfortunate. We may not see the 125s, or if it does happen, it's going to be very progressive. Track might just not be what it once was in practice. Talking about the 125s, and not a single driver's got into the 126s just yet. Josh Jablonski holds the fastest lap for the moment. Brian Zaporowski Jr. crossed the line and got into 17th. Peter Flanner now in the 126s. Max Poe now in the 126s. Just barely ahead of Peter Flanner, though. 0.007 is the difference between those two drivers. That is quite something. As Spencer Smith, another Pro-Am driver, now going fastest with the 126.2. Gage Hines improves into 10th. Mark Foley into 9th. Nick Mazza into 6th. Marshall Scari in 7th. Jacob Simmons still holding out in 8th. So it's a bit of a shuffle for some. Peter Flanner in 3rd. Elliot Burton in 4th. Jeff Koffold in 5th. Eric Koonsman is the one driver that just got shuffled a little bit further down, but he's in 10th over Gage Hines. Aiden Gortz is in 12th. Rodrigo Thury in 13th. Now he's in 14th. Alex Zier has just improved to 9th position. And Joshua Jablonski, the guy who was leading for just a little bit, one full lap actually, is now down into 16th. Last lap did not count. He's following Dylan Thomas awfully close, maybe trying to get a tow here, but that is a gap that is kind of closing down just slightly. Brian Zaborowski Jr. improves it to 19th, so we got a new fastest lap from Peter Flanner, but Nick Mazza overtakes him, and Max Poe gets another shot there. What happens here for Joshua Jablonski? He's 18th at the moment. Does this count? It does, and that puts him into 2nd. As Spencer Smith quickly takes 2nd, but then Mark Foley snatches it by going into the 125s. Now we got it happening. It's going to develop. We have the 125s on the board, and it's all thanks to Mark Foley here. It is a high 125, though. We were seeing low 125s in practice, but that just goes to show you where we're at here. Brandon Burns, the leader of the AM class at the moment, is just behind one of his rivals. That is Eric Koonsman, who's in 15th. Marshall Scari holding out in 13th, though. But he's got a lot of Pro-Ams that are actually ahead of him at the moment. He's got Max Poe, Alex Zier, and Spencer Smith, who's sitting 2nd. So the driver who's leading in the Pro-Ams is not doing so well right now. He's got to get a faster time on the board. And I'm not even sure what the cutoff is for some of these Pro-Ams that might be close to him in position. His biggest threats aren't even here this weekend. Marshall Scari did improve, though, to P11. Oh, I think we have a new driver. Look at that. Oh. Maxwell Woodmansey, that Lambo just spun out. But Jordan Hunt, welcome to the league. This is his first race with us. No accents or anything. He is a part of the rookie class, though. No time on the board for him either. He's on an outlap, so we'll get to see something soon. Craig Carroll proves to P21. Was in the back of the pack for a little bit. That was Roman Bykov. I'm almost certain of that one, yeah. Take a look back here. What was his mistake? Ah, yes. It's unfortunate. Saved it, though. Oof. That is not Spencer Smith. Although it looks like him. Peter Flanner now fastest with a 125.8. But Max Poe is matching Peter Flanner's pace. And he goes just barely ahead of him. And that's got to be... Oh, Nick Mazza onto the runoff there. That's got to be a little frustrating. You put in your fastest lap and the driver who crosses the line just after you. I mean, there's only one driver separating these two on track. And he goes 0.019 faster than you. That's unfortunate. I mean, when you look at Mark Foley, 0.050, that's these are really, really thin margins to be not on the top step by that much. Chris Chitterling improves. He goes into P12. 126.2. Now a low 126 will get you into P5 as John Javecki is holding out there. Joshua Jablonski just behind him. And talk about the margins here. It's a .001 difference from John Javecki and Joshua Jablonski on their on their best time. That's gotta be something. Eric Koonsman re-entering the top 10 with a 126.091. Joshua Jablonski overtakes John Javecki's position for 5th. Noah Hoskinson is up into 21st. Rodrigo Theory up into 12th. Pushing back Marshall Scari, who's actually in 13th at the moment, but still has Max Poe, Spencer Smith, I want to say it's Elliot Burton, yeah. Alex Sear. That's a lot of Pro-Ams that are in the top 15. And I think Gage is Gage a pro? Yes, he's a pro. My local is. Please speak. Yeah, Jason's Chicken Shop didn't give you pickles. That's unfortunate. It truly is. Marcello De Leo improves to P24. Where did that one guy go? Oh, it's Jordan Hunt. P32. Not the last driver on the grid. Peter Flanner now with that fastest lap. And again, look at the margins. It's so minimal on the margins there. Trey Mistak is out on an out lap. Is he actually going to be able to... Mark Foley, his teammate, just ahead of him. Is he going to be setting a time? He didn't last time. Thought that was kind of perplexing. But he's got enough time to do 2 laps. Trey got a case of... Yeah. I thought he said his stuff wasn't working. Something about his technical difficulties. Actually, no. If he's on an out lap now, then he's going to only get 1 lap. It's going to be a nail biter for him. Maybe he doesn't even do it. Maybe he's just... I'd be curious. We've got a couple more corners to go and see what he's going to planning on doing. There's Richard Swiderski off into a gravel sand pit. Donuts, icy. I don't know. Sometimes I think you guys see this more clearly than I. Mark Foley now with the fastest. Oh, the donuts on the pit lane. Yeah, I guess someone was doing those. Now we do actually have a lap trying to be set here. And he's only got 1 attempt. 1 shot. It's going to do the whole, like, M&M bit, but I don't even remember all the words he says in that. 1 shot, 1 chance, or you'll lose everything. I don't know. It's been so long. Alex Zier improves into P8. 1 shot quality for the rest of the season. That would actually be really, really divisive. I think it would be exciting, but yeah, you would lose a lot of people with that kind of talk. 1 shot qualities. Or stage qualifying. Just certain people after their first set lap, they don't get to go back out, and then only the faster ones get to stay in. Top 15 keep driving, the rest just, that's where you're at. 7 seconds left to go. He's not going to get another time on the board. Chance to, at least. Jacob Simmons improves into 7th, as most drivers are kind of residing themselves to what they have He is on the limit. He has found the limit, and he is over the limit. And that is unfortunate for Trey Mistak, who's going to start from the back of this. And that is said and done. Jacob Simmons off into parking it. Elliott Burton across the line. Did he improve his time? I'm not sure. It doesn't show he did. Chris Chitterling has still got one going. Gage Hines across the line from P16. Can he improve? Doesn't look like he does. Maxwell Woodmansey, also no improvement there. Elliott Burton's still going, though. Looks like he might still have a chance. Jordan Hunt is also still out there. Ooh. He spun. Aiden is still out there. It's possible they got across the line before it was all said and done. I mean, Elliott Burton is still there. We got 1 minute left. Could be that Aiden and Elliott crossed the line before it was checker flagged. So I guess we'll see if this is gonna legitimately count. Aiden's 5 seconds back. I learned that move from Lando. All right. Is this it? Does this count? There's the checkered flag. There's the line. And P11 for him right now. Does he improve? No, he does not. Aiden Wertz from 20th. No improvement either. That said, that is it. Now we have our grid. Mark Foley P1, Peter Finer P2, Max Poe P3, Spencer Smith P4, Eric Koonsman 5th, Joshua Jablonski 6th, Jacob Simmons 7th, John Javecki 8, Alex Zier 9, Nick Maz 10, Elliott Burton 11, Rodrigo Theory 12, Marshall Scarry 13, Chris Shirley 14, Dylan Thomas 15, Gage Hines 16, Seth Hampton 17, Jeff Koffold 18, Brandon Burns 19, Aiden Words 20, Tyler Kern 21, Noah Hoskinson 22, Brian Zaborowski Jr. in 23, Marcello De Leo in 24, Craig Carroll 25, Richard Sweaterski in 26, Tom Smith 27, Roman Pygott 28, Steve McAllister 29, Jeff Lubich 30, Maxwell Woodmansey in 31, Jordan Hunt in 32, and Trey Mistek 33, Ken Poole in 34, and Brandon Langlands in 35. If those last two show up, they didn't put times on the board, then we'll have that many. Just put an ad break. At least we're not doing the ad break right before the race, which would be the unfortunate one. Let's take a look at this chopper. What do we got? Blimp. Blimp looks cool. No one after Maxwell Woodmansey has gone on the track just yet. You can see we're missing a few drivers. We're still gridding. But it's critical to see the drivers in 32, 33, 34, and 35 and see if they show up. That would mean we have 35 drivers for this one. Phillip Island is a fantastic circuit. It's great racing the last time we were here. Jordan Hunt is in, so that at least we know we have 32. Now we have 33 as Trey Mistek has popped onto the track as well. That might be the final one, 33 drivers. I didn't see Ken in practice, but I did see Brandon Langlands in practice, at least driving, getting some time on the board. And we might have the last of the drivers. I think we do. Nick Mazza in 10th. Oh, further back. I'm just trying to find. So 34 and 35 will not be joining us. It'll be 33 drivers. We've had some great racing here. The last time we were here. I remember one driver on the opening lap just becoming an absolute missile and nearly causing a massive event, but misses everybody. What was that, like turn 4? That might have been. I think it was turn 4. Because turn 1 is the Doohan corner, which you went through. And then this corner here is turn 2, southern loop. And then when we get back to that straight, that slight kink to the left is third. And then the right-hander, where everyone has to kind of stack up a little bit, it's as good as it gets. This part right here, I think someone shot across right at the midline of turn 4. Could be mistaken. This was his corner, but it feels like this was it. Turn 4. Now this is exciting. Eric Koonsman, an AM class driver, is in the top 5. We have a Pro-Am second row. And you just gotta like to see this stuff. It's fantastic. Mark Foley with that fastest lap. I mean, is it Peter Fan? I think it's. Can't tell. The ad break is about to end, and we will stay with Max Poe here, who's in third. I mean, honestly, I might just pull over to Eric Koonsman, who's in 5th. We'll see if he can drive with the pros, the Pro-Ams. He is up there in the mix with the fastest drivers in the league, and so is he. He himself did fantastic in qualifying. And already there's a little bit of a gap as he drops down 1 position and has Jacob Simmons kind of in his sights just behind him in the rear. Max Poe already down 2 as Joshua Jablonski has gone up into 4th position, overtaking, only maybe keeping it. He's on the edge there, and he's gotten past Spencer Smith. 3 positions gained for him. Max Poe still down 2. And look at that, Eric Koonsman still in it, riding on board just right on the rear of Max Poe. Now, Jacob Simmons having to battle out with John Javecki. Another driver who gained was Elliott Burton, who's up 2 positions from the start. And we're only... Oh, we do have an accident there at the end of the field. That is in turn 4. Oh, and there's another accident, and it is terrible. And I think that was Gage Hines, who's gone off, but he's back on the track, and it is looking fine for him. Marcello De Leo up 3 positions. Marshall Scari down 9. So some mischief happened on that opening lap. And now Trey Mistack is up 7 positions. He's in P26, but he's going to be the one that's going to be the mover, the shaker. He's got Jeff Lubitsch just ahead of him. And the back of the pack had its own set of difficulties as Craig Carroll is defending that line there, and he's going to stay ahead, crucially, into turn 12, down the start straight finish, ahead of Trey Mistack. And it was 7 positions gained. Brian Zaborowski Jr. is towing. Is he going to get Craig into turn 1? Yes, he does. Eric Koonsman back on over to him. Spencer Smith down 1, Max Poe down 1. They lost out to Joshua Jablonski on the opening lap, and there's a good defense for Spencer Smith. But, oh, on the exit, that is Jacob Simmons now battling it out here with Eric Koonsman, who's not going to let it go. It could be 1 loss, but Eric Koonsman's holding in there strong. And he's got Jacob Simmons maybe. No, unfortunately, no. Jacob Simmons has gone by. All he can do now is try to defend more spots. He's got John Javecki behind him, but he's holding on to his position so far. It's only down 2. It could have been way worse. He's got some really quick drivers behind him, and now there's a shift right there. Gage Hines now only down 6. Jeff Lubitsch, who's up 5 positions. Roman Bykov up 4. Oof, looks like Roman has a not so great front end there. He's got to worry about Trey here, who's a pretty quick driver. About half a second faster on that last lap. Chris Lambeth, bowling lane, safety car deployed. I don't know. There goes Roman Bykov, about to go side by side with Jeff Lubitsch. Holds his spot for now. Actually, I don't think so. Roman Bykov now having battle out with Trey Mistack. He's just going to have to follow through here. I think the move is on there at turn 10, but he's gonna have to, I think, secure it into first here. But they're still gonna be battling out side by side. Joshua Jablonski now setting the fastest lap. Oof! Oh! There's the flashing of the lights. Take a look here at the chopper cam. It's in the curbing, washes out, and bumps into Trey. As we kind of thought that was what happened, and there it is. Aiden over here. It's got Noah Hoskinson just next to him, but Noah going on by. Aiden got loose and lost a position. Now Tyler Kern is trying to make up one. Oof, there's a slip up there from Seth Hansen, who's off in the gravel. Fan trap? Is that what you call it? Another spot gain for Trey Mistack, but he's got a lot more. Oh, he's ahead of Roman Bykov. Oh. Guess he came out ahead in that incident. Didn't look like it. Elliot Burton. He's made some positions off the start, and now can he make another one right here? He's got Eric Koonsman just ahead of him. If I wasn't mistaken, John Javecki was actually ahead of Elliot Burton, and now they're going 2 wide, turn 1, and it looks like the move is done, and Elliot Burton has gone on by. Eric Koonsman now down 3 positions. Hopefully that's the end of it. But Alex Sear is right on by. Could make something move, but while that's happening, we have Nick Mazza and Chris Chitterling going side by side. So 2 battles here. Which one is more active? I think it's this one. Alex Sear just kind of slotting back in. He's the Mustang. It's a moose on his car. The head. And I think it kind of quieted down as Chris Chitterling has kind of dropped back a little bit here. Dylan Thomas also gained 1 spot from the start of this race. Jeff up 3. Brandon Burns up 3. Noah up 5. I think the highest mover right now is going to be Jeff Lubitsch, who's in P22. He's up 8 positions. All right, what can Dylan Thomas do? He's got Rodrigo Theory just ahead of him. Into turn 1. This is a move people will make. No, he's going to follow. Oh, drastically different line there, I think. And someone made a mistake. It's someone locked up. Age Hines has Tyler Kern in his sights and doesn't have to defend. All right, we're going to go over to Joshua Jablonski, who's in second. Peter Flanner in third. Peter Flanner in second. And this is as close as it's ever been since the opening. All three drivers are actually now almost equal on pace. Peter Flanner being the slightly more quick of the three. But Max Poe can rest comfortably being the Pro-Am ahead of all other Pro-Ams. 1.4 second difference to the other Pro-Am of Spencer Smith, who's just behind him, but that's still a good gap. It's a healthy gap in the pits as well. Is Joshua Jablonski going to make a move on Peter Flanner? That's the real question. Eric Koonsman, I guess he just made a mistake here. Yeah, went out really wide. Lost some spots there. Now he's got Brandon Burns right behind him. The AM class leader in the rankings. Back over to Josh Jablonski. On board of Josh Jablonski. He's been rapid. Where does he lose time? Because he gets a little bit driftier. He's getting into the 1/10 separation, I think, in Sector 2. But right now he's almost 3/10 up. It's really 2.5 tenths. And he needs to be way closer on that start straight to make a move going into turn 1. Got a nice exit there. And he's not losing, but he's not really gaining that much either. And he's falling back slightly. Go to Eric Koonsman, who's down 10 positions. But he's got Brandon Burns right there. Who else is we got Steve McAllister and Richard Swiderski battling it out. Seth Hansen trying to rejoin. Gained back what he lost. Kind of not happening there. Marshall Scary down 25. Oof. What happened here? Noah is towing, actually. Oh. That's unfortunate. That Porsche is... I don't know why anyone is in the Porsche. It just does not look like a stable platform. That rear... I think if we had actual statistics of all drivers in the league that run in the Porsche, how many times that rear escapes them and sends them into a barrier, I would put all my money that the Porsche drivers are the ones that have the most incidents and related to the stability of that GT3. It is, I think it's unarguably the one car that might be the most temperamental. Maybe the Lambo, maybe, but only like one or two people even use that thing, and when they do, it's not going to be the high-end I-rating drivers that are going to be in it. That's the one thing you got to take into account. So, but man, Every time I see a Porsche and I know that there's going to be an incident, it's just... You see it all the time. That being said, Jacob Simmons is in a Porsche, and he's 7th. Oh, we got Peter Flanner, who's only... he was half a second off. Or I guess that was through the start straight, but lost a bit of time. Oh, Marshall Scarry has Tom Smith down the start straight finish. Can he pull it off? And they're going to go side by side into turn 2. On the outside, though, doesn't get the power down enough. Tom Smith successfully defends his spot for the moment. Oh. Looks like there's some action ahead. And this is not the moment it happens. Now back on board with Elliott Burton, who sits 6th position, 1.4 second gap to Spencer Smith, but crucially, he's kind of a train conductor. He's got Jacob Simmons just behind him, John Javecki, Alex Zier, and Nick Mazza. These drivers are all paced perfectly. And not many. I mean, you could argue that he's not the conductor anymore, and it's Jacob Simmons. There is a bit of a gap, and if you go further back, I mean, it's also there. You can see ahead, which is 1, 2, and 3. But look at this. What is Alex Zier doing? Alex Zier just kind of shot him through. I don't even know what that was. Okay, there goes John Javecki defending the inside, and then he just goes wide. All right. So we lost one driver in the train. And now that's just a split. Alex Zier overshooting in turn 4 kind of split this entire group who were so similarly paced. And now Eric Koonsman and Alex Zier are going to be battling it out here. The good news is he's got a Pro-Am driver splitting him and Brandon Burns, who's leading the AM class right now. Eric is 4th in the AM class rankings, and Brandon's 1st. And is Dylan Thomas going to make a move here on Rodrigo? It looks like he's committed. And he's got it before he even went into turn 1. Nice move for Dylan Thomas. Is it quite over, though? One has to wonder. Now is Alex Zier going to try to make the move? He pops the inside. Tosses it too wide into turn 4 and gets Eric Koonsman. Now got the championship leader, Brandon Burns, right behind him. John Javecki looking to make a move, and it almost looked like they were about to go too wide there. But Jacob Simmons crucially staying ahead. I'm going to check in real quick. We have Trey Mistack, who's now up to P20. Tyler Kern's just ahead of him. He's got 13 positions gained. That is quite something. Aiden has just been passed by Jeff. And it might be another lap for Trey here to make a move on Tyler Kern. Two different class drivers might see that move happen earlier. Maybe not. I think the one tricky thing for him, for Trey at least, is he's got a rookie ahead of him, as well as this AM class driver, Tyler Kern. But Jeff Koffold is a pro, and he's quick. That battle is not going to be easy if he ends up trying to pass him. Gage Heinz, also in the mix. He's also ahead. Both Valhalla Racing drivers are actually right ahead. If he makes these two moves on these two drivers just ahead of him, it's going to be a challenge past the other two, which is two Valhallas you see coming in and out of the order. Over to Alex Zier, who's got Eric Koonsman, E13 at the moment for this driver. Oh, look at that. Eric Koonsman taking it too wide with Rodrigo Theory. He's now only down 7 positions as he's overtaken him quite comfortably, I would say, into turn 1. Before turn 1. I don't even know which one to look at. Both these drivers are putting on quite a show. Dylan Thomas was right on the rear of Chris Schitterling. Chris Schitterling has gone defensive. And Chris holds out hope there. So he stemmed off that move from Dylan Thomas. But can he hold on to it? I mean, we're now approaching draft pack scenario as Eric Koonsman is getting ever so close to Dylan Thomas's rear. Oh, on lap 14 of 32, we have Trey Misek who pit and did a 35-0. So we already have Craig Carroll also pit, and so did Jordan Hunt. So that's going to be an interesting thing to note. Whether or not that is a viable strategy, it would be more inclined to just see what he's at. He's got a big difference to everyone around him. 11 seconds, 12 seconds. I mean, if something happens here, it's going to be... it'll be really something else. Jacob Simmons and John Javecki going side by side. And Jacob Simmons still holding out ahead, but Nick Mazza making the move. And John Javecki, who tried to make a move on Jacob Simmons, now has a move made on him by Nick Mazza, but is it going to stick? I don't think so. Not for the moment. I think there goes John Javecki. Oh, no. It's not over. Nick Mazza still holding out on that inside line. That's going to fall apart. But no, he's still there. Wow. Oh, he's got a better run, though. John Javecki got on by and held on. But good try there, Nick. I mean, that was going side by side through was it 9 and 10, and hoping you were going to get him in 11, but it didn't work out. Alex Sear now has Rodrigo Theory here. Can he make the move? Does not dart out. I'm surprised. Dylan Thomas, up 4 positions. He's really trying to make it 5. Chris Schitterling is definitely doing his job here. He's defending well. The Porsche is not wide by any means, or big. But he's making it wide on this track right now. Back over to Josh Jablonski, who's sitting second. All right, so we will briefly look at what happened on lap 1. Oh my god. There's Brian Zaborowski, who gets hit by Roman Bykov. That's Richard Swiderski. He was just like a Swiss... What the... Look at, there's almost 4 wide. And everyone's just bumping. Marcello gets by. He's fine. He's safe. Gage Hines loses it. That was also lap 1. And then Seth Hansen spun. And Craig Carroll crashed. Oh. 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 That was close. Jeff Lubitsch on his own and in a odd spot, but saved it, right? Yeah. Look at that. Solid job, Jeff. That is the weirdest one so far in that one. Jeff Koffold, who also had a bit of a moment and just spun around. I think this one might be slight contact here. Him and Eric Koonsman do make contact, but he hits the back of Dylan Thomas, and Alex Zier just kind of went out. And then Jordan Hunt was all on his own when this happened. Big one right there. That was big. Broken Wing Racing League, folks. And that was actually not that bad because his wing reattached itself. So not so bad. But then this happened again later. Oof. I think that scared Roman a little bit. Well, that's all the action that occurred since this race has started. I mean, just a little bit of a pile-up at the back of the pack. Turn 4 is not that ideal when you have everyone... Let's say it's probably just as bad as, like, Monza Turn 1. You can take it too wide, but that was 3, 4 wide. People bumping each other. Mad break. Oh well. Max Poe has gone on in. Now do we have Peter Flanner went out on that was his out lap. So on lap 18, he did a 35.5. Now he's doing a 35.5 and pitting on lap 18, but Trey Mistack pit on lap, what was it? Lap 14 and did a 35.0. So now what does that mean for people like Peter Flanner, who's gone through, and Joshua Jablonski and Mark Foley are ahead. Mark did a 35.4. Joshua Jablonski did a 34.8. Peter Flanner's joining back with this group here, though. He has been overtaken by Joshua Jablonski on the pit lane situation. But crucially, does Trey have enough fuel for the end of this race? As I contemplate that, these two are battling out. They almost exchanged positions. But Mark Foley holding it ahead at the moment. Now, P1 through 6 have not pit just yet. Dives to the inside. And they're going to go side by side. Wow. Does Joshua Jablonski hang on to it into turn 12 onto the start straight finish? It's going to go to Mark right now, but they can take this into turn one. This could be 4 battling corners, and it is. And he's ahead as well. Joshua Jablonski has now taken it P1 here on lap 20. Peter Flanner now making a move here on Mark Foley. When it rains, it pours. The driver on pole, now in second. Can he hold back Peter Flanner? Looked like Peter did try to make a move there. And further back, we have Spencer Smith, who's in 7th. He's down 3, though. He pit on lap 17. Did a 36.8. That's probably his biggest one, though. He fueled for, or he stayed in there for a little bit later, and that definitely cost him. Look at Jacob Simmons at a 34.9. That is probably why he lost all, these 3 positions that he did. Get a weather report here. Not a weather report, but a Trey Mistack report. He's up 17 positions, and he's in P16. From plumb last to 16th, and Brandon Burns is only 1.1 seconds ahead. He did get by Gage Hines and Jeff Koffold. Jeff on an out, just exiting the pit, so these may have not have been naturally passed, but pit lane passes. Rodrigo Theory and Dylan Thomas battling it out there, and Rodrigo goes down 1, as Dylan Thomas is ahead. I think more crucially, Eric Koonsman is down only 6 positions. He was down 10 at one point. So he's held his own and stayed relative to where he's qualified. Relative, I mean, 6 positions, but that ain't nothing. Clawing back 4 of them. Be there. Mark Foley, trying to go Foley alongside here with the... But can't? Oh. What happened here? Take a look. Oh, no. The Rodrigo Theory lost a bunch of positions here. Actually, 4 off this. Oh, he had a snap, but he saved it. He crucially did save it. But there's a snap and threw on by everyone else. Mark Foley and Joshua Jablonski battling it through turn 4, and Mark Foley gets through. God, on that camera, it looks like we're on the surface of the sun. Maxwell Woodman Z. It's got Craig Carroll on his sights. It's 3/10, 4/10 separating these two right now. Crucially, he's got that really interesting livery, the lizard livery. Oh man, is he gonna make a move here? Now, I've never said it correctly. Do you call it Sobe or Sobe? I think it's Sobe, right? Sobe Life Water? I don't know. Always been kind of wrong on that one. Richard Sweatersky has Tom Smith in his sights. Nope. In and out of frame, there's Marcello De Leo. He's in 23rd. And we're going to have to go back over to our race leaders, who are very close. Mark Foley leads the pros. Max Poe leads the pro-ams. Eric Koonsman leads the AM class at 11th. And then further back is Aiden Gewurz, who is in 19th. He's ahead of Roman Bykov, and he's ahead of Marcello. Roman Bykov and Marcello are sort of close, three seconds separating them, but that is second in their classification, as Aiden is in 19th. He's got a 4/10 separation here to Tyler Kern, who would like to make another spot. Oh no. Dylan has just gone on. Oh, that looks like it was all on him too. Let's take a look inside the cam here. On board with Dylan Thomas, who's doing good. Oh. Trying to crack. He's back out there though. Whoa! 2 and 3 just went way out of bounds there. Take a blimp of that. What happened here? Look at this. You got P2 and 3. 3's already off, but 2 is on the curbing. And they both just had something similar happen. And that put Peter Flanner back a little bit. He's now got almost a 2-second gap to these drivers who are battling it out. There's only 4/10 separation, even after the wiggle. He's not that far off Mark Foley, and we got still a couple really gusts of wind. Maybe a gust of wind. That was bizarre. Josh, I say 6/10 separation, and they're going side by side on the start straight finish with Roman Bykov, who's lap traffic in 30th, and Joshua Jablonski takes it before they even get to turn 1. And now Mark Foley, thankfully Roman Bykov's letting them both go by, and Mark Foley lost the lead. How is that possible? Within 3 corners. But the lead of this race has exchanged positions now 3 times. Mark Foley was leading. Elliot Burton was leading. Joshua Jablonski was leading. Mark Foley led again. Joshua Jablonski. I mean, 3 different drivers holding that top spot. While this is happening, we have Max Poe, who's 4th. Had a comfortable Pro-Am lead here, but Elliot Burton can now take P1 in the Pro-Am class. Just as I leave these 2 drivers alone, they go ahead and shake it back up. They were separated by 0.16. Oh! That's a snap! And at the same spot, Joshua Jablonski had an error, now had a second one, and Mark Foley retakes P1, and that is quite something. Chris Chitterling up 2 positions from restart of this race. Just behind him is Trey Mistak, who's in 13th, up 20 positions. Different levels to this racing. Trey Mistak failed to qualify literally on the entry / midway point of turn 12, the final corner. onto the start straight. He makes a mistake. Eric Koonsman goes off, and both drivers go on by, so that's 21 for him. We take those for these two drivers, now gaining a spot. I think more could be said on that one. Richard Swiderski has been battling it out here with Tom Smith for quite a while. These two have been close. Seth Hansen and Marcello De Leo are also pretty close. 3/10 separation. 4/10, but no clear victory there. Jeff Koffel has just gone off. Happened. Oh. Yeah, that's... Turn 2 has been pretty tricky for all the drivers out there. We'll take a look here. Seth Hansen makes the move into turn 1 on Marcello De Leo on lap 27. Solid pass. Richard Swiderski. Oh! And we're back live, and these two just hit. What was that? Oh, he did not have a... Battling it out here. Break, break, break. He's got way too much speed. Bam! And that is a check punch. It's fortunate for Richard Swiderski there. Was thinking about his own battle with Tom Smith and made a mistake. Gage Hines has gone on by Brandon Burns. Jordan Hunt is using every bit of the track that's not the track. It's got a black flag as well. Richard is going in. Jeff Lubitsch gets a position there. All right, 5 laps to go. And these three drivers have now reeled each other in. Mark Foley unable to break away at this moment in time. Craig Carroll catching up to Jeff Lubitsch as well. Craig has qualified P25. No positions lost or gained for him, but can he make one up right now? We'll see. Might switch over to the leaders if they get a little closer. It's a bit of a gap forming there. Look at this. We got Marshall Scari. Now only down 8 positions from the start of this race. He was one of the drivers that might have been involved in the lap 1 incident. Nothing lost, nothing gained yet. I went board here with Peter Flannery, who's sitting 3rd. Looking at the battle for 1, 2, and 3 as well. With 4 laps to go. It's going to be difficult to see how this plays out. Is Peter Flannery just going to reside himself to P3 on this one? Is he going to try to make a move when he does finally get that much closer to Joshua Jablonski? Jablonski's definitely not going to back down. He's going to try to make a move on Mark for sure. At what point will he do that? There is a bit of a gap here. 6 tenths, 7 tenths. On board with Jacob Simmons, who has just gone. Who's Elliot Burton has trying to pass. No, Jacob Simmons is trying to pass, I think. Elliot Burton is in 5th. Max Poe is in 4th. I think Elliot Burton was close to Max Poe at one point, but that gap has gone back up. And so now Jacob Simmons trying to make a move with Spencer Smith just behind. Grace Chitterling. And he make a move here on a fellow Pro-Am driver. And that moves Stang. For the moment, we're going to go back on board with the Jacob Simmons into turn 1. Nothing there. I think it's the white flag is what we're seeing. I'm almost positive that was the white flag. Is that the white flag? It says 2 laps to go, but guy's waving the white flag already. Well, I think Mark Foley has made a comfortable cushion, at least for the time being. I think it's now going to go down to P2 and 3. If this is indeed it, we will see it just shortly. And is he going to be celebrating? That's the checkered. And Mark Foley wins. Joshua Jablonski takes 2nd. Peter Flanner 3rd. Max Poe 4th. Elliot Burton 5th. Jacob Simmons 6th. Spencer Smith 7th. Nick Mazza finished 8th. John Javecki 9th. Trey Mistak in 10th. Alex Sear and Christopher Chitterling were battling till the end. And that is 11th for him. 12th for Chris Chitterling. And he spun out. Okay. Eric Koonsman 13th. Gage Hines in 14th. Rodrigo Theory 15th. Brandon Burns 16th. Dylan Thomas across the line is going to be finished 17th. Jeff Koffold in 18, Aiden Gortz in 19, Marshall Scary in 20, Tyler Kern in 21, and Seth Hansen has a little bit ways to go here just to start straight. Rounding it off right now. And then Roman Bykoff in 29, he's already crossed the line. Tom Smith in 23. And Jeff Lubitch and Craig Carroll go to the line here, and it's going to go to Jeff Lubitch at 24, Craig Carroll 25, Maxwell Woodmansey in 26, Steve McAllister is going to finish 27. Brian Zaborowski Jr. finished 29th, Jordan Hunt in 30, Richard Swederski in 31, Marcello De Leo in 32, and Noah Hoskinson in 33, and Steve McAllister, the last driver, 27th, off across the line. There he goes. And it looks like Trey had all the fuel needed for the remainder of this race. I mean, congrats. Just pulling in the Pro and the AM class. Mark Foley, congratulations on that win. That's got to be very sweaty. Joshua Jablonski gave you a strong run for your money there. And ultimately, did the race kind of culminate to that mistake he made into turn 2, which granted you the lead again?
Yeah, sweaty is right. The track temps, the tires, and my body. Yeah, I think it was staying ahead of Peter in the pit stops was crucial. I really thought he was going to jump both of us because he was just hanging out behind me and saving a load of fuel. But I don't know if he hit some traffic on his outlap or something happened there. And then, yeah, I could tell Josh was working his rear tires. He had lots of wiggles and lots of snaps. And I also think he was running lots of wing. I don't know that for sure, but I could catch him on the straights, and he was like mega on the braking zones, especially turn two. He could brake way later, and I just had to become a roadblock in that corner because I knew if I could hold him off there, I think I could hold him off everywhere else in the track. So yeah,
Yeah,
managed to bring it home.
that's how it seemed. I mean, he did do that crazy move into turn 10, that downhill spot. He took it too wide there, which forced it too wide in turn 11 and into 12 and into turn 1. I mean, you guys really kept
Yeah.
that going strong. That's got to be quite something to defend in that spot. But I mean, you did it so well, and I mean, what a focused victory. It looked like it could have gone down to any one of you three. You guys were all fairly quick, but I think you made the least amount of mistakes, and that's what it comes down to after this race is kind of said and done. They
Yeah.
definitely both. I think I could say for certain that Peter went off into turn 2, so that kind of slowed him down at one point, but he caught back up with you guys. But
I
yeah,
see.
it could have been anything.
It's right. It's vengeance for the Falcon series where I got pole and then threw that away. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I could make up for that.
Glad you could convert this poll. Congratulations on that win. Fantastic job for the pro spot. Thanks for joining me, Mark.
Yeah. Cheers, Jason. Thank you.
Eric Kunzman. I mean, first off, I want to say fantastic result for yourself, winning the AM class spot. But not only that, you qualified P6. I mean,
Yeah, P5. Yeah.
P5. I mean, what a result. I mean, what a fantastic result. I mean, being up there, I was kind of worried that you were going to get bullied on the start of the race start, but you didn't. You lost a couple, but you didn't lose them right away, and you did, give as much as you got there, and you held your own. You defended extremely well against some of the pro drivers, some of the pro-ams, and ultimately you clawed back. What I think you were down 10, you clawed back and were down only like 6, maybe 5 at the end of the race. Positions lost. So I mean, I would say overall that's a fantastic result.
Yeah, the qualifying surprised even me. I was really expecting not to be anywhere near that. Started good and then made a couple little mistakes that sent me back a little bit. I took a fairly early pit and had good tires pretty much the entire time except the last like 5 minutes. My tires were gone. So I was able to get back off a few mistakes of others and work my way back and blow elbows out a couple times and yeah, good finish.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic result. I was hoping that the commentator curse wouldn't affect you at all because I mean I was praising you a lot. I mean, it was very not surprising but unique. I mean, being in that top 5 overall in the top 15. You're 4th in the championship. I think this is going to give a big swing to you. Brandon Burns was in it for a while. I think he swung down to P16 ultimately. So I think that's your only rival that you're really facing there.
Yeah, there's a lot of the pro-am guys that have dropped down that are up there at the top, so it's really a struggle right now for the rest of us AMs to work our way up, but this will definitely help. And hopefully I can get a decent finish at Silverstone next week. Haven't ever raced there, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, I hope for the best for you, man. That was quite an exciting qualifying session as well as a race for you. We did see a lot. And thanks again. Congrats on the AM class win, and see you next weekend.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jason.
Yep. Thank you. Cheers. All right. That's it, everybody. Mark Foley is our race winner, but he is the pro that won. And then we have Max Poe, who finished the AM class, pro AM class. And then you just heard from Eric Kunzman, who finished the AM class. And then don't forget the last driver, not to be not mentioned, was Aiden Goertz. So I think that's how you say his name. I don't know exactly how you say his name. But he won the rookie. Thank you for joining me, everybody. And have a good evening.